It all began late last evening when, seemingly out of the blue, pop sensation Rihanna, who has 100 million followers on Twitter, tweeted in support of the farmer protests in India. The pop icon, who is widely renowned across the world for picking up political hot-button issues, with that one tweet appeared to break the internet, but it has also sparked a huge uprising and a backlash from both sides here in India. Take a look.
Climate stars, celebrity porn stars,
This house is my set for season 2.
celebrity influencers,
I'm so excited.
even the niece of the new US Vice President. A chain reaction of high-profile celebrity tweets has exploded across the internet since Tuesday night, lighting up the farmer protest and taking it more global than ever before. With hundreds of thousands of retweets, likes, comments and shares, the sudden entry of foreign celebrities into the Delhi border protests has triggered a massive escalation in the state of affairs, with the celebrities being equally hailed and taunted on Indian soil. While most big Indian celebrities stayed silent, Indian actor Richa Chadha opened up in her support. While Diljit Dosanjh paid musical tribute to Rihanna as a gesture of... But where there's Diljit, there must be a backlash from you-know-who. That's right, Kangana Ranaut led the counter-strike on Tuesday night with this ferocious reply to Rihanna. With the internet making an enormous meal of the celebrity uprising for Indian farmers and the trends all reflecting the huge traction the issue is getting, the government decided to reply 15 hours later. In a statement, the Modi government said it was unfortunate to see the vested interest groups trying to enforce their agenda on these protests and derail them, and that these vested interest groups have also tried to mobilize international support against India. The statement didn't take names, but was clearly aimed at the internet bomb set off by Rihanna. Labeling the celebrity actions as propaganda, the government has now pushed hashtags India Together and India Against Propaganda, with the trends amplified by every major minister in the government, very much on the lines of the Main Bhi Chaukidar campaign in 2019. Superstar Akshay Kumar was one of the first of the mark to amplify the hashtags and get it trending. This face-off couldn't get bigger or higher profile. The world's largest democracy in a direct collision with some of the world's biggest celebrities. Whichever way this goes, it can only get bigger. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, 15 hours after Rihanna tweeted, the government responded, and then shortly thereafter, a big lineup of A-list Bollywood stars here in India have also latched on to the government's hashtag, which is India Against Propaganda. So I want to quickly make it clear for you which celebrity stands where, because our celebrities are constantly accused of staying silent when it matters. Well, many of them have come out surprisingly at this time, because a global celebrity has kind of set the cat among the pigeons here in India. So here is where India's celebrities actually stand. Those who are supporting Rihanna: Diljit Dosanjh, he's even dedicated a song to her. Richa Chadha is one actor who has tweeted in support of Rihanna. Swara Bhaskar is another person who has, Mia Khalifa of course, but Swara Bhaskar is another Indian actor who has expressed support. And here are the list of celebrities who've sort of endorsed what the government has said and seemingly opposed this outside interference from people like Greta and Rihana and Mia Khalifa, etc. Kangana Ranaut, ferocious response, calling Rihanna a dummy in a series of tweets. Then you've got people like Akshay Kumar, Ajay Devgan, you've got Akshay Kumar, you have Sunil Shetty, you have Ekta Kapoor, and just a few minutes before I went live on this show, you had Karan Johar as well. And I imagine that number is only going to increase. All of these actors are using the hashtag that was put out by the External Affairs Ministry, India against propaganda. I want to introduce you to my guests this evening on this discussion because these are big celebrity stars who've picked up this hot button farmers protest issue, and now it's become a huge talking point here in India. Abhijit Iyer Mitra is a scholar and commentator, Harish Bijur, brand guru, Shama Mohammad, Congress spokesperson, and Prerna Kaul Mishra is managing editor, social media here at the India Today group. So her world is social media, where much of this war is currently being waged. Abhijit, I want to come to you first, and I want to quote a tweet from you. Not in lighter vein. I'm asking you very seriously, Abhijit. Where you've said, "Ab maza aa raha hai." You've been getting calls from friends in the right wing all morning saying, isne ye tweet kiya hai, usne wo tweet kiya. But you're getting the sense that people are happy about this. The government has responded. What do you think about this whole fracas?
So Shiv, generally, I don't have a very high opinion of showbiz in general, right-wing showbiz or left-wing showbiz for that matter. But what's very curious is that the government seems to have taken it far more seriously than most of the government supporters on Twitter have. In my experience, most of right-wing Twitter has been treating this as some kind of picnic, that they've got some new
target,
so to say, bakras to target in that sense. So, it's actually quite amusing that way. But my own take on this is it was only a matter of time. The longer you prolong a protest, the more celebrity traction it gets. And if you continue to prolong it much longer, even that celebrity interest starts waning, and then it becomes yesterday's news. So, maybe first mistake was prolonging it this far to allow Rihanna and co to get in.
Yeah.
But then from this point on, it's just prolong it as far as possible till the day Rihanna and co don't have no time for it anymore. Diljit is a particularly curious example because if you remember, after the events of 26 January, he went silent. He went off radar. And suddenly he's emerged out of nowhere, composing a homage to Rihanna in a matter of 2-3 hours. I'm just constantly, I'm sorry. I know you said please don't take this lightly, but I'm just thoroughly amused, and as you can see, I really can't contain my laughter.
No, that's fair. That's fair. If you're amused, you're amused. I mean, it's as simple as that. Shama, to bring you in, Rahul Gandhi was asked this question, and I completely agree with his answer because he replied saying this is an internal matter of India. He has other things to say about the protests themselves, but on this particular question, he very rightly said this is an internal matter of India. But how is the Congress seeing this? This entire issue being internationalized by these global celebrities, and it is spreading. You've got many Indian celebrities now countering that. But how do you see that, Shama? It clearly is an Indian issue, though.
You have to give me some time, Shiv. First and foremost, I'm shocked at today's headline, what you're doing. You must put out that Kangana Ranaut called our Annadatas terrorists. Why isn't that headline there?
No, excuse me. One sec.
Shiv, let me finish, then you can come in. Let me finish my whole point.
I need to correct you because you're spreading an untruth, Shama. I'm the executive editor of this channel. That story is on my channel.
Yeah, that story is on your channel, but I would have loved that to be, I understand, I respect you. That's why I'm saying.
We will invite you to be guest editor. We will invite you to be guest editor for a day, Shama. You can choose whatever stories you want to play. This is my show. This is the topic I've chosen. Please don't make my decisions for me.
I have the right to speak as a spokesperson.
Of course. Go ahead.
So I'm not saying anything against you, Shiv. I'm just saying my point of view, and you must have the patience to listen. So first and foremost, for me, that is shocking. And I feel Bollywood should have responded to that rather than anything else. Then the Poodle Ministry of External Affairs, and I'll call it Poodle Ministry of External Affairs, releases a statement to a private citizen. This is not a head of the country for them to release a statement. In fact, we should have ignored her. That was what we should have. And in a statement, the Ministry of External Affairs says, India, after a full debate and discussion in Parliament, passed the reformist legislation. So there has never been a debate and discussion in Parliament. We all know that. I don't want to get into it because we know how it went through a voice vote in the Rajya Sabha, and that's the major issue. And then there is a sentence over here which says that the government has even offered to keep the laws on hold, as offer iterated by no less than the Prime Minister of India.
Okay.
Who is the Prime Minister of India? Wait, let me finish. The Prime Minister of India is a public servant. All right. When there is an issue, he has to come in. That is his thing. And then they say that she's interfering in our internal issues. Let me tell you what B.L. Santosh said to Bernie Sanders. B.L. Santosh says that how much ever neutral we wish to be, you compel us to play a role in presidential elections. This is what Trump had said regarding the riots.
Okay.
And Sanders responded, and sorry to say, but you are compelling us. So that is interfering in external affairs of another country. When George Floyd happened, everybody responded. Every private citizen can respond. That is
sure.
respond. But if Rihanna, a private citizen, responds, I feel we should have just ignored it. Now, when you remember when Justin Trudeau had said something, I came out and condemned it because I'm somebody who doesn't like a head of state interfering in the internal matters of India. We are a sovereign republic. But a singer who gives a damn, let us say what she wants.
Abhijit, let me get Abhijit. Abhijit, do you think it was ill-advised for the government to issue this elaborate statement? Shama has picked some holes in the statement there from her side. But do you think it was a mistake for the government to issue a formal statement of this kind? Shama says she's a singer. Who gives a damn? Why do we need to even respond to her?
I and Shama are absolutely on the exact same page on this. When all these things are happening, the MEA has refused to have a sit down during CAA, during the Seelampur riots, during Shaheen Bagh, during the telephone pole uprooting this time, during the blockade, during the Red Fort thing. They've refused to sit down and have a briefing for journalists. They've refused to sit down and having a briefing for foreign diplomats.
Yeah.
But then when some dancer, singer abroad sits and puts out a tweet, they feel the need to respond with a long statement.
It is strange.
There's something fundamentally wrong with the communications policy of this government. And it's really not for the MEA to respond to semi-literate, Bollywood, Hollywood celebrities across the globe.
Okay, before I go to Prerna and Harish, I want to play out for you a report about Rihanna herself. Because, celebrities have large PR teams and advisors who are constantly inputting on the big hot button buzzword topics around the world that can get them a lot of attention and craft their image in the public sphere. And Rihanna is not new to that. She's been someone who's commented on a lot of things, from Black Lives Matters to Saudi Arabia, to Trump, of course, very recently, and now even this and Myanmar. So here's a look back at the woman who's now become the global face of celebrities speaking up for farmers in India. Take a look.
Pop sensation Rihanna, in a surprising move, extended her support to the ongoing farmers' protest as she took to social media to question the internet ban imposed in Haryana and parts of Delhi. Sharing a news report on the India's farmers' protest, the singer asked, "Why aren't we talking about this?" The news report was from the government's decision to cut internet services around New Delhi as protesting farmers clashed with the police. The tweet sent the singer trending on Twitter, receiving thousands of responses, including one from actor Kangana Ranaut. Calling the demonstrators terrorists, Kangana Ranaut, who has 3 million Twitter followers versus Rihanna's over 100 million, lashed out at Rihanna, addressing the singer as a fool. She wrote, and we quote, "No one is talking about it because they are not farmers, they are terrorists who are trying to divide India so that China can take over our vulnerable, broken nation and make it a Chinese colony, much like USA. Sit down, you fool. We are not selling our nation like you dummies." Ironically, Kangana also slammed a Twitter user who pulled out an old tweet of hers, seemingly expressing her appreciation for a song by Rihanna. Kangana claimed that it was her team that used to handle her page. She further revealed that she doesn't understand pop music, nor does she listen to English songs. Soon after Rihanna's post, social media erupted in praise for the pop sensation. While netizens applauded her for speaking out, they compared her to Indian celebrities, most of whom have kept mum, and even made funny memes questioning her intent. Rihanna, however, is no stranger to speaking her mind, especially when it comes to her political views. Last August, Rihanna, who has 90.3 million followers on Instagram, posted a photo where she was wearing a psychedelic hoodie from a luxury fashion label in what appeared to be Texas. Spray painted on a half-dug graffitied vehicle in front of her was an expletive followed by Trump, in reference to the 45th President of the United States. Rihanna has openly expressed her dislike for Trump's political views at various instances. Back in 2017, the Grammy Award winner didn't refrain from calling Trump an immoral pig when the former president denied visa entry into USA to people from 7 Muslim-majority countries for 90 days. During the 2018 political rallies for Trump, Rihanna threatened to take legal action against the then US president for the use of her song Don't Stop the Music. Later, in June 2019, when Rihanna, who hails from Barbados, disagreed with Trump's immigration policies, posted a photo of herself and a group of women holding up a shirt for her latest collection for Fenty, which features the word immigrant and text explaining the origins of the word. Her dislike for Trump was evident when the pop singer celebrated Biden's presidential inauguration with a photo of herself taking out the trash and looking very glamorous doing it, we might add. The post was captioned, "I'm just here to help," with the hashtag #WeDidItJoe. Entertainment Bureau, India Today.
Going across to brand guru Harish Bijur. Now, Harish, we know that celebrities have large, very extremely competent and professional PR teams who are scouting, combing the news for these hot button topics that can get their, their clients a great deal of visibility. And whoever thought of this one for Rihanna, wow, boy, have they hit gold, because this tweet's gotten about 300,000 retweets, millions of likes. I can't even imagine what kind of engagement it has. How does it actually work? You've advised celebrities, you've, been a brand guru, Harish, as well. How do you think this may have happened as far as Rihanna is concerned? Because people are wondering, was this organic interest or was this some kind of crafted professional advice she got on choosing to speak about this?
Well, firstly, I sent a lot of inorganic stuff out here. It's all about, not the celebrity. Because, first of all, tweets are sent out, or anything on social media is sent out either by one celebrity, or it is the celebrity's son, daughter, which is still close to them, or the husband or wife, or the digital agency. And at times, it's even a bot with artificial intelligence, not with real intelligence. In this case, I do believe it's the agency out there. And I think they've struck gold. Because, a person behind the persona, which is the digital agency, is always looking for issues. And looking for issues which are political, and not only political, but looking politically correct to comment upon. And I think, since social media is such an anarchy of thoughts, an anarchy of ideas, any Tom, Dick and Harish can tweet. And therefore, what really happens is people pick the issue, tweet, and hope to hell that, I have hundreds and thousands and millions of people retweeting it. And that's exactly what's happened.
Okay, very interesting. So Harish Bijur says he believes that, this was some professional advice that was given. Prerna, coming to you, Rihanna has a net worth of $600 million. As soon as this tweet came out, we saw people put out the, fact that she charges $3.5 million per tweet. That campaign against her also started in one section of the social media. What do you think happened here? I mean, because this is a big game we're talking about. The numbers are staggering.
So, Shiv, I think you would recall what happened with Roger Waters during the CAA thing.
Yes.
He picked up a poem and written by one of the protesters, and he recited it.
Yeah.
So that kind of created a global. This is almost like a templatized model for agencies now. They keep scouting, as Harish was saying. They keep scouting for stuff and then plant it on the celebrity. So I'm not too sure how much Rihanna really knows or has any insight into the farmers' protest or the farmers' issues or the farm laws.
Or the actions taken by the government.
Yes.
Yeah.
So having said that, I think both sides need to kind of withdraw a little bit, because this could be social media diplomacy, or this could be social media revenues being at play.
Right.
So either somebody's used her, you know, there's always a influencers rate list, you know, so people could very well approach influencers to tweet out something. The other thing is there is another school of thought right now, or should we say another conspiracy in the making, where it says that she is connected with the Canadian MP, who's who's very vociferous about his activism, and he has very clear views on certain things, including farm protests. So because they are connected, and he's really flaunted that connection, so there is that angle to it. So, you know, when we really, I think the reaction from both sides have to be very guarded and calculated and measured, and you have to understand where it comes from.
Very interesting that both Harish and Prerna say that their view is that this is not an organic jumping on an issue, but it was a well thought out, you know, part of a larger PR or social media strategy. Interesting. We invited the BJP to be part of this discussion, but they declined. But Sambit Patras has just held a press conference. I want to take a small excerpt of what he said, and then we go back to our guests.
राहुल जी, केवल आप नहीं, एक और है रिहाना, उन्होंने भी ट्वीट किया है। ना राहुल को मालूम है कुछ कृषि के बारे में, ना रिहाना को मालूम है कुछ कृषि के बारे में। पूछिए दोनों को, ये रबी क्रॉप क्या होता है, खरीफ क्रॉप क्या होता है, कुछ नहीं मालूम। ना राहुल को मालूम, ना रिहाना को मालूम, मगर दोनों की आदत एक है, दोनों ट्वीट कर रहे हैं। नहीं, आप बताइए कहाँ थे ये लोग जब महात्मा गांधी के स्टैचू को कैलिफोर्निया के अंदर अभी चंद दिनों पहले डेसिक्रेट किया गया। महात्मा गांधी हमारे राष्ट्रपिता हैं, और केवल भारतवर्ष के राष्ट्रपिता नहीं है। महात्मा गांधी पूरे विश्व के द अपोस्टल ऑफ पीस हैं, शांति दूत है पूरे विश्व के लिए। जब उनके धड़ को अलग कर दिया जाता है कैलिफोर्निया में, उनके स्टैचू के धड़ को, तो कोई भी इनमें से जो आज ट्वीट कर रहे हैं, जो इंटरनेशनल फिगर बने हुए हैं, उनमें से किसी ने ट्वीट किया, किसी ने ट्वीट नहीं किया।
Shama, you heard what Sambit Patras just said.
I want to respond. I want to respond to that. I want to ask you what you have.
Can I ask you a question? Can I just preface it with a question? And then you have every right to respond. I'm coming direct.
Time to respond.
I'm coming to you, Shama. Just relax. Just relax. Everyone be calm. I'm not like the other anchors.
So you're a very nice anchor.
You're a good friend also. Don't worry. I'm not other anchors. I will give you time to speak. Shama, I am just saying that the government, in its statement, as well as what you just heard Sambit Patras say, is the idea of vested interests. That, you know, this is a vested interest play. This is not just some PR or celebrities on the outside, but people here who oppose Modi have a globally mobilized kind of movement to get these celebrities, mobilize funds, and get these tweets going. How would you respond to that?
So a couple of things.
Because he's basically blaming the opposition as well in that.
So whenever there is anything against them, there is a shadyantra, there is a conspiracy. See, it's a democracy. When George Floyd happened, the whole world was responding to it. Citizens can respond. Any citizen, private citizen, has the right to respond. And this government should have ignored. Number one. Number two, he was talking about Gandhi ji. I want to ask him, what action did they take on this lady called Pragya Thakur? What did Mr. Modi say? "Main kabhi maaf nahi karunga," in his dramatic way. What is the action? She said Godse is and always a Deshbhakt outside parliament, inside parliament. Have they expelled her from the party? Have they asked her to step down? So please tell Sambit Patras to stop his drama. Number three, I want to say, where are these poodle Bollywood stars? I'll call them poodle Bollywood stars. What happened when their Riya Chakrabarti was attacked by all these people from the Bharatiya Janata Party? They kept quiet. Number four, what I want to say is that this government has no right, because Mr. Modi himself went to America and said, "Ab ke baad Trump sarkar." Never happened in the history of India. A head of state, I mean, the Prime Minister of India. So many different issues, Shama.
You're firing in all directions.
Wait. And no, I have to tell all the points because I know how India today functions these days. And the other important thing
excuse
is
me. One sec.
Amit Malviya,
No, I'm not letting that pass. What was that comment?
So the comment is, whenever I come on a debate these days, my time is not given on India Today.
No, that's...
The time is given to the others.
You said how India Today functions these days. I don't know what you meant. I take exception to that. I take exception to that.
I want to tell my last point. And So when BL Santosh says something like that, which I had already mentioned, Amit Malviya, when Trump was taken off Twitter, deplatforming Donald Trump, a sitting US president, sets a dangerous precedent. Why should he comment? He is also part of the Bharatiya Janata Party. So this government has no right anyway to say on this. This thing is they should have completely ignored Rihanna.
Okay.
They should have taken on, and the Bollywood stars should have taken on Kangana Ranaut for calling our Annadata terrorists because of the
You're
farmers
repeating
of
the same
Haryana
point
and
now.
Punjab.
Okay, you're repeating the same point. You made that point.
We have the Green Revolution. Let's not forget that. Let's talk about the Green Revolution. They've forgotten that.
You've mentioned everything under the sun now. One sec. I'll go to Abhijit. I just want to say that I want to place on record that the comment you made is not well taken at all. You said how India Today functions these days. I'm in charge. And I will have nobody casting aspersions on this channel. We are the fairest channel in this country. There is no question. Prerna, you want to say something on that?
No,
you did not give me
Shiv. I think that's not acceptable.
Yeah, that's not acceptable. If there's a question of time, it can be addressed, but please don't make any aspersions on the channel. There is no comparison between this channel and the others when it comes to fairness to both sides. Abhijit, okay, let's go to Abhijit. Abhijit, the couple of points that Shama made are fair points. As far as Bollywood stars are concerned who've come out now to say India against propaganda, etc., these are guys who are, usually very silent. And like you rightly said, and I share this view, that, you don't have a very good view of showbiz in general. But what would you say to that, A, Abhijit, and B, this idea of vested interests that is there in this statement? Yes, we agree that the statement was perhaps a bit of an overkill or an overreaction, but the suggestion that these tweets coming from abroad are part of some very organized vested interest mobilization from here within the country.
So as a rule, Shiv, I don't believe in deep state and conspiracy theories, period. That said, remember, everybody has the right to have their own beliefs.
Yeah.
If Kangana wants to think that farmers are terrorists, that's her absolute right to think so, right? If Rihanna thinks that something bad is happening with the farmers' protest, that's her right to think so. However, I don't accept conspiracy theories and vested interests. I just find it really strange that people who are applauding Rihanna for speaking her mind are calling and poo-pooing people who say that she's part of a vested interest, paid $3.5 million to tweet this, are then going around and making fun of Ajay Devgan and Akshay, is it Akshay Khanna or Akshay?
Akshay Kumar, yes.
Akshay Kumar, that's the person. Yeah, making fun of all these people, calling them sarkari mouthpieces.
Poodles, as Shama said.
Right. The second thing is, see, the way these circles work is once you have a big voice from one side speak up, it automatically leads to polarization. There are lots of studies that have been done on Twitter and its extraordinary polarizing effects to show you that once, say, a big star like Rihanna starts talking up on their side, you will have a counter barrage of big stars talking up on this side. It is natural. Also, with vested interests and payments, remember, the way this industry works is that you have to virtue signal.
Yeah.
A lot of the work that you get is based on virtue signaling and standing up for certain things. There doesn't have to be a payment. There doesn't have to be an incentive. Maybe Jagmeet's association with her led to the tweet. Maybe it did not. Right. But the need for virtue signaling is very great. Also, remember the person who runs Greta Thunberg. Sorry, what's her name?
Yes, that's right.
Greta Trumpberg, I don't know, whatever her name is, the Swedish girl, Greta Trumpberg. Her Twitter account is run by an Indian based out of Bangalore or something like that, if you remember.
Okay.
So it's not particularly surprising. We don't have to start thinking about elaborate conspiracy theories. This is just the way Twitter flows.
Harish, now we've got a situation where we've got this big, really, really big global celebrity who's set the cat among the pigeons. Greta Thunberg and others are, no less famous, even though they have a smaller following. Rihanna is big. She's like the like the big dog as far as this issue is concerned now, since last night. Now you've got people like Akshay Kumar, Karan Johar, etc., tweeting, not directly in response to her, but it's after what the government said. How do you see this playing out? I mean, it doesn't get bigger than this in terms of celebrities versus celebrities in that sense.
Yes, it is certainly celeb versus celeb, and every celeb worth his or her salt or their salt is going to say that, hey, listen, if I don't participate in this debate, I don't count. So you'll get every celebrity of every ilk from every sphere
wanting a piece of the action.
Wanting a piece of the action, because, please note, when somebody tweets or when somebody participates in social media, there are just two objectives. Either you need to earn money or you need to earn pride of followership. Now, Rihanna's tweet seems to be more attuned to pride of followership rather than money, because that money is a big, big amount of money. The key issue to discuss is really, are issues boundaryless today? Do issues have a political boundary? I don't believe issues have a political boundary anymore. And therefore, I keep saying, negating it and saying any Tom, Dick and Harish can comment on anything that is around the world. An Australian fire, an Indian comments about. Trump, every one of us commented on it. So if you really look at it, issues have become boundaryless because social media is boundaryless. I think we need to keep it in that order of things.
Social media is certainly boundaryless, and we can't ignore the fact that all this sort of delicious crossfire, if I may use that word, is happening, on social media, and very little is actually happening off it, because Rihanna has said this on Twitter and nowhere else. So has Greta Thunberg, so has Mia Khalifa. We know that Twitter is, already in a bit of a problem here in India with a separate issue concerning, again, the farmer protests. But how are they seeing it? What are your sources in the social media industry telling you about how this is really making the industry much bigger, isn't it? With all these celebrities using this as a platform to do this.
Yeah, certainly, Shiv, because everything translates from social media and it kind of has become a feedstock for mainstream. We are discussing this because it came on Twitter.
Exactly.
But, looking at all of this, I think there are only two things that I need to point out here. One is that, yes, please use Twitter. But I would invite all these celebrities who are using Twitter today to talk about the farmers' protest, also to talk about the farmers' rights when countries like US and Canada start pressurizing us at the WTO to take off the farmers' subsidies.
And not just selective.
Where are they? Yes, this is selective outrage, and it is selective outrage without understanding the issue, right? So I think it's kind of frivolous. I think it's irresponsible, and I would welcome informed opinion, informed intervention, but this is not informed opinion to me. It is very irresponsible. Okay,
you're saying that it's irresponsible. There have been many reactions from, prominent persons in India, two people like Greta, two people like Rihanna, asking them specific questions about the farm laws, even though her opposition has been to the net being cut off for the farmer protests on the Delhi borders. But like Prerna said, is this really about that? Is this really about an issue, or is this just to score points, project an image?
Shiv, can I just say one last point, please?
20 seconds, Shama. 20 seconds.
I just want to say the government...
Since you complained that I don't give you time. Yeah.
No, Ministry of External Affairs responding. Sambit doing a press conference has made it even bigger. We should have just ignored her. This is what has happened. Now everybody kind of knows about it. Everybody is going to go and look at the tweet. It's made bigger. So the government of India's response is wrong. That's what I want to tell.
Okay. All of you, thank you very much. I learned quite a bit from this discussion as well, because, I don't believe in conspiracy theories either, just like Abhijit. But I also believe that this is going to get bigger. This is really going to get bigger. The more this stretches on, the more you're going to have people wanting a piece of the action, as Harish also said. Thank you to all of you for being with me on this discussion here on 5 Live.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.